Storytelling. Nancy Wake. Nancy Wake. She was born in 30 August 1912 and she died in 7 August 2011. She was a nurse and journalist who joined the French Resistance and later the Special Operation Executive during World War II, and briefly pursued a post-war career as an intelligence officer in the army ministry. Wake was living in Marseille with her French husband Henry. She married on 13 November 1939. She was living in Marseille, France when Germany invaded. During the war in France, Wake served as an ambulance driver. Her husband. Fortunately, in 1943, when the Germans began aware of her, she escaped to Spain and continued on to the United Kingdom. The worst for her is when her husband was arrested and executed. She blamed herself for her husband's death. Her family. Wake was the youngest of 6 children. In 1914, her family moved to Australia and settled at North Sydney. Shortly thereafter, her father Charles August Wake returned to New Zealand and her mother Ella raised the children. At the age of 16, she ran away from home and worked as a nurse. With £200 that she had inherited from an aunt, she journeyed to New York City, then London, where she trained herself as a journalist. In the 1913, she worked in Paris. Autobiography. In 1985, Wake published her autobiography, The White Mouse. Later, after 40 years of marriage, her husband John Forward died on 19 August 1997. The couple had no children. Authorities. In 1943, Nazi authorities were on the hunt for a spy they had nicknamed the White Mouse because of her ability to evade their capture no matter what trap they set. The Gestapo had declared her their most wanted person and placed a 5 million franc bounty on her head. Nancy Wake. After the war, Wake was honoured by Australia, France, Great Britain and the USA for her service. She continued to work as an intelligence officer and also tried her hand at politics. Before she passed away in London in 2011 at the age of 98, she published her autobiography, The White Mouse, and saw her story featured in several TV shows and movies, including a 1987 made-for-TV movie called Nancy Wake. So, said Nancy Wake, freedom is the only thing worth living for. While I was doing that work, I used to think that it didn't matter if I died, because without freedom there was no point in living. Wake died on 7 August 2011, aged 98, at Keystone Hospital after being admitted with a chest infection. She had requested that her ashes be scattered in central France.